but we've stopped competing with composure. And I think that's what kind of pulled at our fabric, and that's what we started to unravel.
And what allowed Jared Allen to get going so early the way that he did?
Coverage breakdowns. We know he's going to put pressure on the rim, especially in pick and rolls. And we were quite often on the outside looking in. We weren't in the right spot early to meet him, and make him kick it out. And he just had free runs to the rim.
Wes, the Cavaliers have one of the better defensive ratings in the league. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league so far. I mean, what stands out about their defense? What makes them so tough to play against?
Their physicality. We've had issues with that, several times this season. The fact that we don't own our spots, our setups, our screens. They get into us, they blow through things. So credit to them. They did a great job defensively, and they've done that all season. But we've got to do a better job with that, handling those type of defenses, the ones that kind of crawl up into you, make life tough. At times we just, I think, play on our heels with that.
Evan Mobley is a young player in this league. Early on in his career, what stands out to you about, just kind of how he's come into the league so far?
He's a very talented kid. His athleticism and length, those are the obvious, but I think he plays at his own speed. He doesn't get sped up. There's a comfort level, even with his length and his ability to handle physicality.
What did you think about how Danny stepped up today despite being under the weather?
Yeah, I give him credit. I think he was struggling a little bit late. We had to get him out with the fatigue, but the fact that he was able to compete, play through it, I give him a lot of credit for that.
What did you see on your defensive board?
As far as
in terms of the Cavaliers' offense, ability to collect offensive rebounds and foul up the second.
Yeah, there was second chance points was a huge component of that. Even when we were able to defend at some level for 20, 22 seconds, we didn't finish the possession. But in general, there were a lot of coverage breakdowns, and I think that's something we'll take a look at tomorrow on the film. Those are unacceptable. It has nothing to do with anything. We're not in the right spots. We're not communicating, and we're not honoring, that communication.
Was Spencer as aggressive as he needed to be tonight? Is he deferring? Is he trying to get too many other people involved at the expense of his own?
That probably is a question for Spencer. I mean, I would think he has to be more aggressive, especially early in the game. And I know as a point guard, a lot of times you want to set the table and kind of get guys involved. I think we can do both. I'd love to see him be a little bit more aggressive. And it doesn't mean hunt shots, but, a little more aggressive with his thrust up the floor, attacking, getting to the line. He's very capable, and we've seen it. But just to, get that started sooner.
You mentioned coverage breakdowns. How much did their size kind of play a role in that? Or was that really kind of, like you said, more self-inflicted?
I think a lot of it was self-inflicted. It'd be tough to say without watching the film, but that their size does matter. It impacts the game. If you switch, you're at a deficit in the post, you're at a deficit on the glass. Their ability to shoot, where if you're, there's too much separation, their bigs are popping. And I already alluded to the point with Allen on the rim. We got to be in the right spot early, else he's putting that pressure on the basket. So it's a number of things, but I think more coverage breakdown than anything.
So what was your message supposed to be?
Well, I think it's the biggest thing was we've been down this road before. How many times do we have to have the same conversation about our approach, our energy, our composure? And I think, that's probably the most frustrating thing. We've had the same conversation, and we always bounce back, which is terrific. But how do we sustain that? How do we not fall back into some of those things that we wind up falling into?
Any questions from Zoom? All right, I think that's it, Coach. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
They went on that 19-0 run and kind of broke the game open.
Damn.
What went wrong for you guys?
First, praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. They just wanted a little bit more than we did. I think they really just kind of just brought it to us and just hit, and the run was crazy. We couldn't sustain it. We couldn't get stops. We were kind of discombobulated on the defensive end. weren't we weren't doing anything like we were supposed to on either end of the floor. Granted, offensively, we were just missing some shots. But I think just our quality of getting our shots up, our flow of our offense, we got out to a good start flow-wise early on and pace and stuff like that. But that dwindled down pretty quickly. And they were just living in the paint. Garland was pretty much getting what he wanted. Same with Jared Allen. So we didn't really make it tough on them in the second, third quarter.
And rebounding has been a strength for you guys. It wasn't tonight. Was it just a matter of their size? I mean, obviously they got a huge front court.
They were huge. They were a huge team. You definitely tip your hat off to them. They played to their advantage, but that's not an excuse for us not to be, ready to go. And that's us on guards too. We have to do a better job of getting in there and helping our bigs out, especially with those over the top rebounds. And I think offensively we have to. We got to help Gaff on those boards, get some guys to the offensive boards. Our 4s and 5s got to probably crash a little bit more so we can get some presence down there. It's tough. It's tough. I was just watching them the whole third and fourth. It's like, dang, we have no bigs crashing, on offense. And that's tough, because they have 4 or 5 big guys down there. We just got Gaff battling by himself. So, we just got to be better. Us collectively, we have to, be more physical. Tonight was a physical game, and they brought it to us.
What degree does the team as a whole need to keep better composure
and
shots start to go right?
Yeah.
Calls don't move the way
That was a big reason we lost. We played a very emotional game today, and it happens sometimes. But we have to be able to learn to be poised in those situations and just keep our composure. We know it can be tough. Calls aren't going to go our way. Shots aren't going to go our way. The game may not be going your way that day, but, you have to be able to keep yourself poised and engaged in the game. I think we got like 3 techs in one damn play or whatever it was. And, that was kind of granted, we were down like 20 and 30 at the time, but it's like, let's be true to who we are. Let's not get out of character. Let's go out and compete and finish the game and, get out of here.
9 of your next 10 on the road. That's a lot of road games and stretch of 10 games. What's going to be the key for you guys?
1, taking care of your body, but 2, just being more consistent. I've kind of said it, I think the last couple of games, if finding a sustainable, way of winning. I think a lot of our wins earlier in the year were kind of, we can't win like that, against good teams. And same team like tonight. Like when you have these scrappy teams who, granted they have good size and they play to their advantage, we can't just flip on that light switch. I think that was another situation like that tonight. So we just have to be better prepared, making sure that night in and night out, teams are going to give us their best. We're a team that teams want to come after. So we have to understand we're going to get everybody's best and we got to be ready to go, starting with me. So big road trip ahead of us. And like you said, 9 of the next 10 are on the road. So, hopefully we can kind of take care of business like we do at home. So.
get that every team has some slippage at some point this season. But
I don't think so. I think you'll have those moments, and we just have to get it back. We understand what kind of team we can be and where our areas of mistake were, and we knew that as soon as we seen the score at half and then after the game, we knew exactly why we lost, and we know it's an easy fix. So we're not going to allow ourselves to go down the path of no return, of digging ourselves too deep of a hole.
Brad, I didn't get a chance to ask you last game, but was it like to have Brad really back on the bench?
Oh, it's great. It's always exciting. He's been around us for, a couple of weeks now. So, but to have him engaged in the game setting, for him to kind of get back his mental approach to it and kind of just learning things on the fly again is always great. And, we're ready for him. We're ready and excited for him to get back out there. But it's always a good step. It's a great sign to see that he's with us. He's with his team. He's out there, with us. So in due time.
Christos.
Hey, Brad, you mentioned the consistency before. What do you need or what do you have to do as a team to be more consistent, especially on your competitive side?
One, it shouldn't we should know that we got to come out and compete every night. You know, it shouldn't take coach or one of our teammates yelling at us in the timeout, you know, saying, you know, let's pick up our energy, let's pick up, you know, our efforts. You know, that should be a given. On top of that, you know, it's just, one, we individually have to look ourselves in the mirror and starting with me and be better all around. And then collectively, you know, we have to get back to what's been working for us. You know, we can't get tired of doing the right things and the good things over and over again. You know, we get rewarded for those things. And it's shown that, you know, once we do them, you know, we have a huge success rate with it. So we got to get back to our defensive mindset, being a physical team. And just being confident in offense, shooting the ball with confidence, making plays with confidence, no matter what it may be. Like, we didn't have, I think our turnovers were low tonight, but in that, you know, we got to make sure we're getting some good quality shots up. We had a couple shot clock violations, a couple hand grenades tonight. So it's just making sure that we're confident in everything we do.
And for the upcoming road trip for you, what is the most challenging part of that road trip?
I'm sorry, repeat it.
Yeah, for the upcoming road trip for you guys, what is the biggest challenge?
I mean, just realizing that every team is going to bring us their best. You know, every game we play is not going to be easy. No team is just going to come in and just let us win and just think it'll be an easy game. We have to understand that we're a targeted team, and, you know, teams are going to give us their best. And it's a great opportunity for us. Like, it's a good test for us playing against these teams on the road. It will help us maturity-wise and camaraderie-wise, and just building up how we need to rack together these consistent wins. You know, we have some really good teams ahead of us, and we can't BS like we did tonight, or we'll have the same results.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, Brad. I think that's it. Appreciate you.
Yeah, be easy.
Second and third quarter, they went on a 19-0 run. Just kind of what allowed them to break the game open there?
Shoot. Obviously, we didn't get stops, and we didn't score. I mean, not to keep it too general and simple, but, I mean, it wasn't like we were turning it over all over the place, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what happened.
And you know Jared Allen's game very well.
Yeah.
What allowed him to get going so early and often tonight?
I think it's just a product of the way he plays. Obviously, they found him a couple lobs. He's really good at kind of reading when to screen, when to slip out, you know, those type of things. And then he's got great hands and finishes in the short roll as well. So, you know, the way he plays, he can hurt you in multiple different ways, and, you know, he did that tonight.
That's what Wes was saying earlier. You know, we'd like to see you a little bit more aggressive, but there is a fine line between, you know, setting up your teammates and looking for yourself. You know, how do you kind of approach that on a night like tonight?
I mean, obviously, you know, outside of Brad, we have kind of an equal opportunity system. You know, we got guys pushing the ball, guys, you know, shooting shots, trying to be aggressive and all that other stuff. You know, you just try to, when they feel like they got a look or something like that, you try to get out the way. And then when they don't, obviously, you try to make a play. That's why sometimes I get the ball late clock, things like that. You know, sometimes I make it, sometimes I miss. It's kind of like that.
3-point defense has been a strength for you guys all year. Was tonight you guys getting away from what you've done well, or were they just making shots?
I mean, probably a little bit of both. At the same time, like, you know, when they hurt you inside and then kind of collapse you, that then obviously gets kickouts too. I mean, they also did a good job offensive rebounding, and those are typically the easiest threes. You know, any team that offensive rebounds and does those kind of dagger three situations, like, those are the hardest ones to defend. It's easy to defend, you know, more point of attack.
I know the Cavs have a lot of size, but they're one of the better teams in the league in terms of defensive rating, defensive stats, like things like that. What makes them so tough to play against offensively?
I mean, obviously with their size, we're in protection. Sometimes I think you can get out of doing what you want to do just because you see their size and whatnot. You know, it's all around. I mean, obviously you got Jared Allen, Mobley in there blocking shots and stuff, and Caleb taking charges. Just all around solid team.
You feel like you have been as aggressive as you need to be, at least the way you can do?
I mean, it's a long season. There's a flow to it. You guys know how I feel about my game. I mean,
it's just simply a volume of possessions type of vibe. You know, I'm not a high turnover guy. You put me in a pick and roll, like, you know, shoot or pass it and figure it out. So, you know, I'm not worried in terms of that respect. I mean, new team trying to figure out. Like I said, we got a lot of guys trying to press the go button right now. So, you know, somebody's gonna not have a rock. Like, if we want to change it, then we can change it. Like, it's that simple.
How great is it to have Rui back on the bench the last 2 games?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. You know what I mean? Just knowing obviously that, you know, he was going through what he was going through. And that he's healthy and happy enough to be out there. I think that's the bright spot about it, right? You just feel for a guy and want him to be in the best space possible for himself. You know what I'm saying? Because this thing's bigger than basketball.
9 of your next 10 on the road, 10 of your next 12. It's a lot of road games. What's going to be the key for this stretch?
Oh, I mean, I think the road can be good in terms of, you know, banding together as a group. And obviously we're a new group, so we can take some of that time to really just kind of coalesce and you know, find our identity, keep going, or not find our identity because we got one, but like, you know, just keep moving forward.
Christos.
Hey, Spencer, hope you're doing well. If you look back on tonight's game, what do you have to improve as a team for the upcoming road trip?
Oh, we definitely can't let those runs happen. Obviously, that's how the game gets away from you, 19-0, you know, things like that. Even if you had a lead built, right, you'd have lost the lead. So, you know, regardless of the situation in the game, like, you got to be able to kind of cut those runs so you can either keep your lead or don't let the game get out of hand.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right, Spence. I think that's it.
Perfect.
Appreciate you.